Everybody, Tom Stewart here. I'm with Liz Trotter, and our guest today is Alonzo Adams, and this is Smart Business Moves. Alonzo,
hey, Alonzo.
How are you, man? It's been a while.
Thanks for having me. I'm always honored to be here hanging out with you guys. It's always hour packed with excitement.
Yeah. Packed. Well, we're hoping that you're going to bring the goods today, and we're going to have another hour packed with great content.
I got a little something up my sleeves.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Sharing with us leadership habits that you must adopt. And, Alonzo knows leadership habits. He's been a leader in the industry for a long time, his own business. You actually are spending more time doing coaching and helping other business leaders develop their skills, correct?
I am, and it's fun. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm beating up a lot of entrepreneurs, man, but we're turning them into high performers. So that's been awesome because, again, a lot of entrepreneurs get caught up in looking for, I would say they're always looking for different, sources. Where can I find this at? Where can I get this at for my business or my company?
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, be the source. Be the source. Stop always looking for resources. Just be the source.
I kind of like that. Look at me grabbing my Remarkable and making me some notes already.
That's right, because, hey, what is everybody doing? They're trying to find every way possible to get to success as fast as they can. That's what they're doing. But the key, leadership. Sustainable leadership.
So if any of our viewers want them or want you to beat them up, will you be explaining how they can make that happen sometime today?
I'm going to give you a little taste. Okay. And let's see how you can digest it.
Okay. All right, Tom, before we get into Drive with Alonzo, I would really love to talk about, hey, Denise, I would really love to talk about the COVID spread. I've had a couple people reach out to me because South Carolina's numbers are where they are, and we've got foundations coming. And what are your thoughts there? Are you at all concerned?
I'm always concerned, Liz.
That is so true. That is the truth. Yes, that's true. Hey, Linda.
Maybe more so now. Yeah, COVID is a thing, and we know a lot more now than we did a week ago, certainly 2 weeks ago. The numbers are going up. It seems like at, I guess, a couple of things. They've got a higher prevalence of these quote unquote breakthrough cases. Even if you've been vaccinated, you can still contract the Delta variant. Having these really bad outcomes, the probability is less, but you can spread it. The R0 value of the Delta variant is right up there with chickenpox, which is just below measles in terms of spread. So it's more contagious by a material amount. So, I know a lot of businesses down here are moving back towards masking. Within Castle Keepers, we never formally said, okay, no more masks, but we did kind of relax that a little bit. If you've been vaccinated and feel comfortable, we'll look the other way, but we're starting to reemphasize that. We've also implemented, a program within Castle Keepers that we are offering financial incentives for people to get vaccinated. So we feel that's an important aspect of it. But as it pertains to our events in October, I don't know. I've seen some studies that suggest that this Delta variant will burn through by then. That the people are going to catch it, and that should be dying off. Once we get towards the end of August, but who knows what's behind that.
Well, the reason why I'm curious about it is it really much worse? I mean, it spreads more and all that good stuff, but is it really much more of a threat to us than the flu at this point? It doesn't sound like people are dying like, like COVID-19 was scary because people were dying.
I think for those who are not vaccinated, I think the chance of getting seriously ill, being in the hospital, and potentially death, I think those numbers are all about the same. There's just fewer of them because there's more people are vaccinated. People are vaccinated, the probabilities are a lot lower that they're going to wind up, in the hospital or worse. Any way you slice it, though, I think most people would argue that there's less we know about COVID in terms of the long-term effects. That just to say it is the same as getting the flu, yeah, maybe for some, but not for others.
Mm-hmm.
People die from the flu as well, but that's been around so much longer. They pretty much know what all the long-term effects and side effects and all of that, and they're still trying to figure this COVID thing out.
Let's see. About 0.5%.
Numbers here for us. 1 out of 10,000 under 65 are dying. And I guess that's vaccinated, unvaccinated, just everybody.
Has anyone died of the Delta virus that has been vaccinated? The last I heard, nobody had. There were 0 cases of deaths of the in the vaccinated population. Is that still accurate?
I can't say with 100%, but my guess is some have. Yeah, 1 in 261,000 vaccinated. I'm assuming that's deaths.
Okay, so there's 1 death now for every 261,000 vaccinated. All right, so that's a small number.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of other ways that people are dying. The odds are greater dying for a lot of other things than COVID if you're vaccinated.
Yeah. Okay.
How's it doing up in Pennsylvania, Alonzo? Is COVID a thing there at the moment?
Well, let's take it from the standpoint of looking at the suburbs, because you got Philadelphia, which again, they have different requirements. Suburbs out here, we look at counties, and we look at what counties it's spreading more, or if the numbers are spiking. So where I'm at in Chester County, we're doing fine. So it hasn't been any major restrictions. Everything's just playing it safe. Playing it safe. My company, for my cleaning business, we've kept on the mask. We never took the mask off. Vaccinated, unvaccinated, you got to keep them on. And just following, protocols that would protect everyone. And just being smart about our choices. A lot of things, and it's good that you even bring up leadership and how this just coincides. And as we're watching how all this has been developing, now over a year, we just have been, glued to our televisions or whatever information we get from others or whatever we're reading or researching. And deeper dive, it has really provoked a lot more fear. And, that's one of the things I've always spoken on was fear and having courage and having the ability to keep people focused in the right directions. Because, again, when fear kicks in, then people start to really look towards sources. And sometimes it's not always the best source. So I've always encouraging people, to keep their eyes into the positive and see things and take everything for what it is. Because everything's are studies and different science information we're getting can be conflicting. So it's the best thing is to do what you feel is best for yourself. And it never hurts to eat healthy, man, and take care of yourself and get your vitamins and nutrition. I mean, that to me is always huge, even before COVID. Because as we can see, the whole thing with people's immune systems we're challenged more with our immune systems. Because of the different things we're up under with pollution, different things with the water, the things that we eat, and just not the right nutrition that we used to have, 40, 50 years ago. So it's really important to protect your immune systems and get the right nutrition because I'm just seeing a lot of people that go down and have struggled with COVID. Just again, they just really didn't take care of themselves, or underlying conditions that you're not aware of. You're just not really sure, because when you actually go and you get a physical, the physicals are basically like when you go to take your car for inspection. You know, it's not the deepest dive. It's still other things there that you don't really know that could be going on with you, because it's just an inspection, a yearly inspection that you get.
Smart health moves.
There you go. We got a new show going here.
That's right. Thanks, Robin. Hey, did you see, Tom, that Linda and Denise have a couple of questions about your incentives?
Are the incentives working? We announced them today, so can I tell you if they are or they aren't?
And what are they, Tom?
If you are fully vaccinated, we're going to give you $100.
Okay. I think that's the same one that's been floating around for a while. Denise, Linda, we've talked about that a bit in group. So, yeah.
Do you have anybody that you know, Liz, that's implemented that with any degree of success?
I know a couple of people that have implemented it. They had some success, and they had some backlash that they didn't realize that they were going to run into. I know you think things out really well, Tom, so I'm sure that won't happen to you. But
I'm looking forward for that discussion. That'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I think it is. Federal government reimbursing the $100. What?
I know that there was talk about it. Don't know if it ever became a thing or not.
Well, that would be awesome, because you would definitely not have to worry about the liability if the government is reimbursing the $100, right?
You know, hey, Robin, good to see you here today. She wants to know what percent of our staff is already vaccinated. Not a large enough percent. I can tell you that. It's we're below the national average. It's we've got some work to do there.
The question is, how do you know from everybody? Was just a question, a meeting that was in a group, and who's vaccinated, who's not? How did that go?
Yeah, we had a discussion, and a lot of people, have concerns for various reasons, and the counter argument is, it's bigger than you. If you don't want to participate in the 401k plan, that's just affecting you. But if you don't, do the responsible thing and protect yourself against COVID, you're putting the community at risk. You're putting your coworkers at risk. You're putting your clients at risk. You're putting, a whole lot of other people at risk too, because even if, you're fairly healthy, you can still spread it. And people who aren't healthy can get sick and die from it.
I'm just wondering, because the reason why I was wondering is because, just for instance, Carson Wentz, who's a quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, professional football.
You're a former guy out there.
Yeah, former guy,
right?
So he came into the press conference. He actually had on his mask, and so the question was, "Hey, Carson, you wearing the mask?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got my mask on." And again, so another reporter was like, "Are you vaccinated?" He said, "That's a personal choice." And it shut it down. So that's why I was curious about, the business owners out there that's really asking that question, and how is it being presented? Because I still struggle with that. And I should say I struggle with it. I'm very definitive with it, as to saying that I leave it as into my staff's personal choice to their decision. So there's nothing been forced upon them. So I don't know exactly the extent to who is and who isn't. I do know that there are people that are and people that's not with my staff, but I don't know the ratio or percentage, because we just can go down that path with it.
Well, for us, you have to produce a vaccine card if you want $100. So that's going to be a more.
That's a good way to find out.
objective way of doing it.
So you won't like
Tom. Still, there wasn't a meeting like I'm vaccinated. I'm not. What happened? I mean, how do you know the number? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
all right.
Because Robin just said,
be right back.
You are 50%. So she says she thinks she's 50%. So I'm thinking most of the owners are in the same boat. We're thinking unless we got a definitive number.
Mm-hmm. You're probably right, and I don't know. We're just kind of doing it by the honor system. Robin says she's at 50%.
She says she thinks she's at 50%.
All right, I'm going to show you how I know. This is our name tag at American Made. Can you see what's over there?
Okay, that's how you can know. Okay.
So you have to have a name tag, and if you're vaccinated, it says you're vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, it says I'm not vaccinated, and you have a little syringe with a X going through it. So I know exactly how many people are vaccinated.
You know what's so interesting too about it, because I was speaking with another business owner, and another business owner was asking, they were our customers inquired,
That's what happened to us.
People. So we had probably about maybe two or three people inquired about that, but that was the most that we had. We actually had someone that was going to return, and they were asking about that, and we said that wasn't something that we required. And so she goes, "Okay, let us know if that changed." I said, "Okay."
Yeah. And
you're waiting.
Robin makes a good point. It's one thing telling the national media what your choice is, but as an employer, I think you have a right to know. And
we have a responsibility.
A lot of employers out there, Walmart and one other large employer basically said that you're going to have to be vaccinated sometime by September if you're going to be working here, or getting a COVID test every week, I think was the other alternative.
I told you here in our state, Tom, our government, you're going to have to be vaccinated to work in the government.
Yes.
In September.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they give
and
them
yes,
the option
Stephanie,
of getting a COVID test every week instead of that?
It hasn't been written into any kind of a law or anything yet. So I don't know if they're going to. Currently, that's not part of the discussion set. And yes, Stephanie, it is legal to ask. There's a whole big thing about it too. So, my daughter goes to Cornell University Business School. And so she shares a lot of her stuff from Cornell. And they had an awesome panel. We brought this panel on Smart Business Moves. It was awesome. And not on Smart Business Moves, sorry. And MMA groups. And there was a labor attorney, an employee advocate. I can't remember, 4 people on the panel. Those hit all 4 sides. Oh, what are when you have what's it called? The group. I know, the group of people in a company that all comes together and says, we are going to
committee.
No, darn it. I'll come up with it in a second.
Task force.
Anyway, no, this is they. Oh my gosh, it's killing me. The more I try to think of it, the worse it's getting. Okay.
You don't think about it when the show's over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and you have
Write
to
it
pay
down and we'll
dues.
share it Wednesday.
Union. They had a union representative there. And anyway, there were 4 of them, and they talked about whether or not you can do it, what are the risks, what are the challenges, and it was really good, actually. Kevin,
the audience is having a focus group.
Union. Anyway, it was it was really good. Okay, 47% are fully vaccinated. They tell us they are not planning to the rest of the process. Well, that's not bad, right? 23% are doing it right now, so that's pretty good.
So,
a state with below 40% vaccination. No.
Let's broaden the discussion up a little past COVID. Not to say that it's a trivial subject. It's
leadership,
very timely and important, but we want to talk about leadership habits on a larger scale, Alonzo. And I know that you spend a lot of your time working with other, business leaders, helping them with their leadership skills. So, for the time that we have left, what would you like to share with us in terms of kind of best practices in terms of leadership skills?
But first, my guess is, before ever even hearing it, I'm going to guess. I know you have five leadership habits that you have to put into place. I'm going to guess that all 5 are going to connect to this COVID conversation.
Oh, okay. Easily.
Let's just check.
Easily.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about entrepreneurs, I've been around them forever, and I've been with them in the Entrepreneurs Organization. I've been with them in ARCSI, and just even coaching them. And I start to think about more and more, what are the 5 elements, the characteristics of like a great entrepreneur, which actually transcends over into being a leader, a really good leader as well. And the first thing I started thinking about when I'm looking at guys that don't have this one quality, which is huge, drive. They don't have the drive to really make this thing go. And, they get worn out, they just burn out, whatever. They just don't have that drive. So I said, what would you like to look at each letter inside of drive? Because I think I have something right there. And the first one I looked at was that D, was just having that discipline. And when I looked at that discipline, I said, okay, well, you can be disciplined in a lot of things, but the most important thing to be disciplined in is your focus. Have disciplined focus. Because I see companies, I see leaders, they're just all over the map. And again, you brought up about COVID. We stay very disciplined in my company, and I always instruct our focus not to get scattered, not to get diverted into different areas, to stay very disciplined. Regardless of what's happening outside of us, around us, we're going to stay very disciplined. And I think that's the most important thing when you look at in drive, is having that discipline to be focused and to consistently grind and do those same things with great discipline. But that focus, when everybody's going in different directions and they're getting thrown off and they don't know which way to turn, stay disciplined to the focus.
Yeah, that makes really good sense to me. You can't really find a strong leader that it has fractured focus. That's here, that's here. That's just not something you hear about a lot. So that makes great sense to me.
Exactly. And when we think about COVID, being resilient, so that's the R. You have to be resilient.
Okay.
Right? So that's why when I think about an entrepreneur, I want him to have that. If I'm going to build him, I'm going to create him like the Bionic Man, we're going to put all that stuff in him. You got to put that in him. Because, you go up against COVID, you go up against anything with the government, you go up against, your employees, your customers, it's all going to hit you, but you're going to have to endure, because business is just peaks and valleys, man. And that guy's that's a leader that's resilient. You think about stuff that like Elon Musk had to go up against, Mark Zuckerberg, they're always up under some type of investigation. There's something that, they're getting poked at from all directions, but you got to stay resilient and stand strong and weather that storm. That's what I like about being resilient. And it's just like, you can hit me, man, but guess what? I'm coming back, and I'm coming back stronger and better and harder.
Nice. All right. I know. I'm loving this DRIVE. I know what the I is. I know what the V is, but I'm dying to hear.
You know what that I is? You really know what that I is? You sure you do?
I think I do.
Yeah, these you're building a list here, Alonzo, that this is, these aren't negotiable.
No.
They're all necessary, but if you're and I don't even know what the last three are, but we're going in a direction here where if you're missing any one of these, you really are not going to have the success that you deserve. Because I mean, if you're in a leadership role, especially in the industry that we're in, you've got so much skin in the game, and you're burning so many calories, and you're putting so much into it that if you aren't doing it the right way, you really aren't getting a return off of everything that you're putting into it.
No, by no stretch. By no stretch. But it's again, people want again, they want to really disconnect in leadership. They want to just say, hey, just go out and do it. But as that leader, you have to show up. You have to show up. And when I mean show up, it's just being again to a position where you set the tone. You really set the tone inside your company, your business, especially as we're speaking about COVID. What is the tone inside of the company? When this hit, when people are concerned, cases are spreading, customers are asking questions, someone got COVID. What is the tone in the company, in the business? And that's where the leader has to really, really set the tone inside of the company, because emotions go at a high. They get worked up, they get stirred up. And once it spreads, it's contagious. It's like a wildfire. And someone's got to be able to put that out. You have to bring people down and just say, hey, listen, you know what? It's a day-by-day thing. It's a day-by-day thing. So people are so caught up sometimes thinking about the next week, the next month, what's going to happen? They're going to shut things down. And we're not there yet. We're not there. Deal with it.
That was the whole reason why we started Smart Business Moves in the first place, was because people were struggling. They were unfocused. They were dropping the ball. They didn't know what to think or do, and they needed to come on, pull it together, folks. You got to come up with your message. You got to get strong. So I'm loving what you're saying. Okay, before you go on, I'm going to show you my guesses. Okay, that's what I have.
You got the V right. That V's easy though. Because you only want to with the V.
Okay. All right. I'm dying to hear. To hear.
Now the one thing is why I went with the I. I went with intention.
I love intention.
To be intentional.
I love that.
That is something that's missing, because whatever you set out to do, you have to be intentional about it. That's about your habits. That's about your routine. That's about how you're going to actually run the business, your training, whatever. Be intentional about it. Be intentional about your consistency. People are watching. Your people are watching you every day. And if your intention is not the right intention, that you don't put them in the right position to succeed, and you're not intentional about it, then they don't trust you. So intentional to me brings trust. And that's huge as a leader, because I'm watching your habits. I'm watching your routines. I'm watching if you're doing what you're saying you're going to do. You're intentional about everything that you set out to do.
All right. Okay. I think intention falls a lot under disciplined focus, though, because if you have disciplined focus, you're intentional. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I feel like this is all kind of the same.
Well, here's the one thing. You can be different in discipline than being intentional. So discipline, again, it's doing the same thing over and over, and you're doing it that way. But intentional, that means that, listen, everybody that's discipline is not intentional about things. So
true.
They're just not intentional about what they're setting out to do. Because
but you said discipline focus.
Right. If you're going about the discipline, you're going about focus, and even about, about things that you set out to do. But your intentional is that's a whole different level. Not everybody's intentional about things that they do. So that's why I think that's more of a trust thing as well. Okay. I trust people that are very intentional.
Okay.
People that I coach.
When you say intentional, I think of like the difference between making it happen versus just letting it happen, or the whole idea, if you aren't intentional, then basically whatever happens is just an accident.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's how I think of it.
Right. Because I mean, when I set out to be intentional about something, you can put your money on me 100%. 100%. So that's the only difference why it's separated from discipline. Yeah, it's the routine, it's the things, how we think. Discipline can almost be just like a way of describing your actions, but intentional, okay. I mean, that's even deeper.
I think of intentional as making a choice and sticking by that choice. So right. This is the choice. This is the way we're going. And this is what we're doing, how we're going.
Right.
So I see how you're linking trust to that. I like that piece. I like that a lot.
Yes, yes. So to that V, which you were bringing up, is to the vision, is having that vision to me is huge. But I don't just like the people that sitting around and saying, oh, I got this vision. The vision is huge when you actually take that to set up yourself for the next 3 to 5 years type of vision. Okay? Because when everything starts to get clouded, we go back to the vision. When we start to, when we're not sure, when we don't have the energy, when we have something like this pandemic happening, where's the vision? Did the vision get lost? Did the vision get put away? The vision needs to stay in the front, regardless of what's happening. Are we on course? Are we off course? What's taking us off course? It's almost like looking at a gauge of, okay, we said we're going to be doing this in 5 years. Are you doing it? Have the business actually set out and accomplished what it was supposed to? You're now at year 3. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's why I see people struggling with the vision. The vision, too, it's not being communicated enough, especially as when we look at the leader. So when you said, oh, well, I'm an absentee owner. Okay, I get it. But the leader has to constantly communicate the vision. Everyone has to know it. What are they striving for? What are they working towards? What is our leader about? He's about that vision, that big picture, that overarching goal. That's where we're headed. That's where we're going. I want to work for that dude. I want to be on his team because he has that vision, And then when say if you get out the picture, then you need to have the next man up that's going to actually be able to carry the vision. Because when we saw what happened with Steve Jobs, very hard guy to replace, right? Very difficult person to replace. So you had to find a guy like Tim Cook. You had to look at Tim and say, okay, do you get the vision, Tim? Do you really see where this is supposed to go to? And man, look at where Apple's at. They far exceeded what Steve Jobs had. Far exceeded. That's when you know you're a good leader too. You step out, and the company does double.
Yes.
That's a great leader. I'm not talking about maintaining. He didn't maintain because a lot of people, you had $1.5 million, $2 million. You step out, business still at $2 million. You're like, well, I'm still getting my check. Well, bottom line is, did it get to 3? Did it get to 4? Because that person again, he's caught up in the vision.
I love that, Alonzo. I mean, I see that so often. That people, they step out, but their business stagnates. Oh. That is so common. I see that 99% of the time. So I love this connection between the vision, stepping out, having the company continue to grow, and tying that into like the strength of the leader and the vision, because the leader has to really keep that vision alive, even if they're not there. Ooh, I love that. You gave me chills.
You can back out of the business, and you can stop doing a lot of the things that you used to do and hire people and delegate that. But somebody still has to be the leader. And I guess at the top of that is the vision, right?
Yeah. I love that. You gave me chills. Yes. Gave me chills on that. That is top notch right there.
And you're talking about, something that's actionable, something that, to your core, you expect it to happen. It's not a dream. It's not a wish. It's not, something that you're hoping for. Yeah. To your core, you fully expect that this is going to happen. Because if you don't expect it to happen, chances are it won't.
That's why you have Cameron Harrell describes it as the vivid vision. It's vivid, but the big thing is when I think about this whole thing about vision, I look at some of the people that I've known for years, and you look at how they lost it. They lost the vision, you know, because they're trying to escape their business so bad. And you guys all see it. They're trying to run away, man. They want to get away from that business.
Yeah.
They're tired of it. They don't want nothing to do with it. You know, if you call them, their stress level just jumps up. Blood pressure goes right up. Because the one thing is that they lost the vision. It doesn't exist anymore. So they're not excited about their company no more. They're just like, man, if I just can pass this next 4 more years, try to sell it and get out. That's what they're looking for, man. They're looking for the hills.
Yeah.
You know, if you roll it back to some of these other, you know, principles that you're talking about, resilience, for instance, you know, if you're not resilient, the weight of the world is going to beat the vision out of you. So, you know, you have to be disciplined, and you have to have all these other attributes in order to, you know, maintain the vision.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what did Mike Tyson says? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right? So everyone did have a plan. They did. Yeah. They got punched and knocked that vision right out of them. You know?
Okay, I was at a breakthrough event over the weekend, Alonzo. I heard that saying at least 10 times. At least 10 times. People are like, you know what Mike Tyson says.
That's why I like the guys that have been battle tested. You know, when I look at people that have staying power, they've been around, they've been in the game for a while. They've been battle tested, you know, battle tested. So the one thing is, if your vision comes to 5 years, reset the vision. Reset the vision. There's no way that you never reset the vision. It doesn't stop. You have to do a reset.
Okay. I really love this. I wrote down vivid vision too. Who did you say calls it vivid?
Cameron Harrell.
Okay.
So could that be drive with 2 V's?
You don't need 2 V's. Vivid vision. You're good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Tell us about this E, Alonzo.
When you hire someone, just say, for instance, you're going to hire someone to run your business. You're going to step out. That person's going to be the leader now. Okay. The number one thing you want that guy to have is the ability to be effective. That dude needs to be effective because he can get things done on both sides. Yeah. Both sides. And when I say both sides, he can create the strategy and he can find a way to execute on that, to get it done. That's when someone's effective. And I like someone that has sustained effectiveness. You know, not just someone that's running to give me the 90-day sprint. I don't want the 90-day sprint. You know, I need that sustained effectiveness. You know, or again, like we said, you take the hits, you take the punches, but you're still effective. You're finding a way. You're finding a way regardless of the situation. Go back to COVID. How many people were effective in being able to pivot? How many people were effective to having the right message to their customers? How many people were effective to being able to communicate to their staff from the leader down, to energize them, to inspire them, to keep them going? How many people were able to do that? They're not effective. And when you see people starting to crumble, people starting to hide under the desk, they're trying to look for a way out, how effective are they? And I'm talking about being effective on multiple levels in multiple ways. To me, that to me is strong. Can you come into your business, if you're there, if you're the leader, and you know without a shadow of a doubt, you were effective. You were. Because if you're not, get out the position, get out the chair. You need someone that's going to be effective. You know, whenever you're looking at superstars, elite, they're effective.
Yeah.
And you mentioned
they bring the goods.
You mentioned 2 sides of being effective, you know, the strategy part and the execution part. And I think that's important as well. And, you know, strategy has a whole lot of different levels. And as a CEO, you know, there's a lot of strategic planning, but, you know, there's a lot of tactical decisions that need to be made day by day, moment by moment. And leaders need to be able to do that and then execute and make it happen. I mean, we could spend an hour just talking about how important execution is, and a lot of you know, businesses that aren't getting the results they're looking for, they, you know, are doing a lot of the things right, but when it really comes down to, you know, there's a big difference between talking about it and doing it, and a lot of companies fall short on the execution side.
I did change my word from energy to execution. I was like, execution. You can't do anything without execution. And then you got effective. And I think effective is really the same thing as execution, because if you're executing, you're effective.
Right.
So I really like that. I think I'm loving this.
And two, Liz, well, I like to think about effective because you do have effective leadership as well, effective leaders, because when you are effective, you are influential. You understand? That's the most important thing, is if you are going to be a leader, you're going to be effective, are you influential to your people? Because there's too many people that are in leadership positions, they're not influencing anybody. You know, they're being influenced. They're not influencing anyone. And right now, the day and time that we're in right now, you better be effective in influencing people, man. Because people right now, they're watching too many different things from social media, so they're getting their information everywhere. So they're influenced that quick. And if you're not effective, you done lost those people. You really did.
Although I do think, though, that if you have a strong vision, that you can influence people through that vision, because a strong vision is influential. It does influence people.
You got to communicate it. You got to communicate
absolutely.
You stick it on the wall and you look at it in an annual company meeting. Let's talk about the vision.
That's not a vision.
No.
That's not a vision. A vision is not words on a wall. That's not what a vision is. A vision is influencing. That is part of the vision.
But when we said vivid, let's think about the word vivid. The vivid, it feels real. You can feel it.
Yeah.
You know, you can feel it. I mean, how many times have you walked into a company and when you walked in, you can feel the energy in that business? It's thriving. You know, you walk into another company, it's dead. It died a long time ago. It's a funeral in there. They're playing violins. It's not happening. You come in, it's got to be popping, baby. Popping, it's got to be juice, and that's what happened when the COVID thing went down. It was violins playing, it's like, come on, man, give me some hip hop, give me something up here. Let's get fired up because we've got the key margin forward. The funeral's not here,
All right.
No obituaries. Let's do it.
So now you're speaking to my energy, right?
Yeah, it takes energy, right?
That's effective.
It does.
That's effective. That's you got that dude. You got to be effective.
I'm gonna argue that one.
Let me hear why you can't be effective.
Okay, I'm gonna argue why. Because you can be effective and not have any energy, and I've got a perfect example for you.
Okay.
Or have really low energy. Tom's, I don't know what his title is. He works as the accountant. He's the main accountant. If you were to meet him, you're not feeling the energy at all. But is he effective? Yes, he is. Yeah. He is effective. Yes. He does get the stuff done. You can count on him. He's reliable. I mean, he is the personification of effective.
We'll go back to leadership. So I got you. What you're saying. Okay. But on a leader to be effective, I want him to be able to put his DNA on it.
Yeah, but you want him to, but I think he can still be effective as a leader.
Yeah, he can. You're right.
Yeah.
No doubt. Very effective.
But I think the energy is like super, super important as well. I mean, I do think that the strongest, not all of them either, right? We know some leaders that don't bring the energy.
DRIVE is a really cool acronym.
I love it.
5. We could have probably gotten, say, 8. Characteristics if we'd wanted to.
Tom is so funny. I bet that we could have gotten 8 if we would have added on an I and added on 2 E's.
We have to figure out what we could spell with that.
But you have to put something else in there because that's only 7 if we did drive it,
Oh.
But
I really do love drive. I do. And really
drive.
And if you're bringing it down to 5, I don't think anybody is going to argue the point that these 5 are definitely, you got to have them. You can't leave any of these out. It's not like, well, you don't have to have discipline, focus. I'm arguing with you all day long. Yes, you do. Well, you don't really have to be resilient. I'm arguing all day long. Yes, you do. Well, you don't really have to have intention. Yes, you do.
Yes.
I think this is awesome. Easy to remember, easy to pull up. Yeah, I'm totally using this. Thank you, Alonzo. This was an awesome share.
In something else, Alonzo, that the word trust came up quite a few times in this discussion. So that can't be overlooked either.
Yes.
That if you're going to be effective as a leader, you have to be trustworthy. And that's a whole nother discussion as well in terms of what that means and the different dimensions that it takes.
Which is why I'm changing the I. I'm changing the I to integrity because it's a stronger trust word. And I'm going to put intention under discipline, disciplined focus with intention.
You can move it around.
Yeah, because I agree that intention is critical.
Remember, the drive comes from being that high productive entrepreneur. Absolutely. That's where it comes from the high productive. So we could switch that I into integrity, because integrity is huge, especially right now. And stuff we've been through, and just right now, it's like the trust factor. You know, it's just so much right now that people are not trusting. And we're thinking about this generation that is dominant right now with the millennials, and then what's coming up behind the millennials, that generation, they're all about trust, man. They can't trust you. They can't get behind you. And when
integrity is part of that. But when we talk about trust, it's also about, it's trust is character, competency, and commitment. So you can have the integrity part, but if you're incompetent or if you aren't fully committed, you're going to lose trust on those points. So,
but Tom, we got execution to take care of the competency. So that's I think
we get commitment. Arguably would be maybe
we got resilient, we got discipline, resilient, we got we got a lot.
Confidence will always be effective.
Takes care of it.
Yeah, because if you got to be confident.
Too often though we talk about trust just in the dimension of integrity, and that's part of it. But I might let you hold my wallet, but that still doesn't mean that you can do anything.
Yeah. And I think you're right, Tom, that trust has a lot of different
dimensions.
Thank you. Dimensions. Yeah, like not unions.
Because that's one of our core values, is that word is with trust. But it's not, you just cannot rely on it just to be saying, I can trust you to tell the truth. So can I trust you to do the job right? Can I trust that you're going to, without a doubt, give your best, best version, your best effort, so it's so many ways you can put that spin on trust. But that's why
I had to read for this event that I just went to. I had to read this article. They sent us an article a week in advance. It was like a white paper on integrity. And so probably why I'm like kicking integrity really hard is one of the assignments before you got to the event was you had to read this paper every day, every single day, for an entire week up until you got to the event. And integrity is about, to your point, it is about having character, competency, and commitment. All of those things are part of integrity. I'm like, it's a crazy word because the more you look at it, the more you think about it, the more it actually encompasses. It's not just about, that people trust you or not. It's that you are your word.
That's
and you can't be your word if you can't get the stuff done. You're not your word. If you're not committed to things, you're, again, not your word. So I'm like, wow, I got a whole big thing on integrity over this past weekend. And I'm like, dang, man, that's a big old word. I used to argue with people that wanted integrity as part of their core values. I'm like, dude, integrity is hard to withhold. Are you going to be able to uphold integrity as one of your core values? Because I don't think you can. I've had 3 conversations with you. I don't think you can.
You break it down to its core, and it's a humbling thing.
Yes,
it is.
It says a lot easier than it does.
And there's no way we could have ended this without talking about integrity. There's no way.
No
way at all. Because ultimately, again, as we say, that brings trust. Can I trust you? Can I trust what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing? Can I trust it? And I think that's the biggest thing where we're seeing division that's happening throughout the country. It's this division. Can I trust? And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So,
and who do I trust? And a lot of why we're struggling right now with the people back to COVID again. People don't want to get vaccines, and they don't want to get vaccinated. They don't trust, y'all. That's bottom line there.
Well, it's a shame because it's a lot right now. We're living in a world where everyone wants to be an expert. That's where the problem's at. Everybody's an expert. That's creating more problems than solving them.
Well, because we can all get the facts on Facebook. That's why.
Yeah, but when you take that stage as an expert and you get in front of the world, you're going to get challenged on it.
Oh yeah.
And people are going to pull information from your past, wherever, to try to find any holes in your message. So you got to be true with your intention as well about why you're really doing what you're doing. And that's what we're seeing that's happening throughout the world. The intentions are not there, and they're not genuine intentions. It's more like, look at me. I'm the expert. Listen to me. And that becomes a little bit jaded.
So, Alonzo, I know that you've been spending more and more of your time coaching and helping lead other business leaders embrace these concepts and others. And, I can speak from experience. I know Liz can as well, that, we can all use a good business coach from time to time. If we have anybody listening here that wanted to reach out to you and learn more about some of your coaching programs and how to participate in that, where would we direct them?
Right now, definitely, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. My email address is alonzoadams.com. And I'm coaching over at Conquer. I'm actually full. I'm completely full.
That's why he's not telling us.
Reach out because he hasn't got time for you. He's booked out.
Yeah, I'm completely booked up. But listen, people know that reach out to me. I'm there to help anyone. I want to make sure that I can help people be successful in whatever way they're looking to be successful. And that's personally, business-wise, whatever. So never hesitate to reach out to me. And what you guys are doing here is awesome. It's awesome because you guys are giving up your time. You're not being paid for this. You're not looking for anything in return. And that's why I love coming together with you guys, because we're just trying to make sure that we're being the best that we can be for others and to help others.
We are looking for something in return, though, Alonzo, and it's the vision. We are really looking to get this whole industry professionalized. So we're looking for people to, adopt some of these smart business moves and smart business thinking so that we can all be better. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. So
we are looking for that.
Businesses be more profitable, and they can take that money and create better jobs, provide better service, make better lives for themselves. And Alonzo, I know you share this vision as well, because we've worked together for goodness grief, how many years?
Yes.
Inside of ARCC and other
Got to be a decade at least, huh?
Over
longer.
Yeah, longer. So
we're coming up. We're probably coming up on 20. Well,
not quite 20.
Over 15 years.
What would be the anniversary?
It's been many years.
When's the 20th anniversary
of ARCC?
Yes.
Or ARCP.
We started working on it like in 2003, I guess.
So it's coming up.
Yeah.
So the 20th.
Almost here.
Yeah, we got to have a big bang. Really got to.
Yeah. So you got a question here, Alonzo. Do you just work with residential or commercial? I think you work with people that are outside of our industry too, don't you? All service businesses?
Residential, commercial, cleaning, all. I do both. So I do residential and commercial. My background is actually commercial. That's where I came from. I got in commercial cleaning when I was 13 years old. I worked for one of the biggest commercial cleaning companies on the East Coast. They snuck me in when I was 13 years old. I went in and worked my way up. And I learned all that stuff, man. Floor machines, all that stuff, carpets. I can do all that stuff. Well, I can't do it now, but I know how it works.
You can tell other people to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mess with that
I
stuff.
bet you could. I bet you could get in there and at least fake it.
You know, you got to think about where you're going to spend that energy at, man. Where I'm most effective at, right, Liz?
That's right. That's right.
I'm not as effective there no more.
You have to be disciplined and not indulge in such silly nonsense.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is a really another great point, Tom. I'm really glad that you brought that up, because that is another thing that we see business owners doing all the time is they're saying yes to everything. Every great idea, every new thing that they see, they're like, oh, I heard so-and-so say that she does blah, blah, blah. I'm doing that too. What? Stop doing what other people say and
or what other people do.
Or what other people do, and stay disciplined on your focus, your vision, your stuff. Do what.
Listen, you know what's interesting?
So
how many people have closet of stuff? Machinery.
Have what?
How many people have that closet or they have that machinery because they decided to go ahead and jump into something different? You know?
Yes.
We all have that different vacuum, floor machine, I don't know, a fogger, whatever people and God, man, you know, steam machines. People just were all over the map, you know? It's like stay disciplined, you know, stay disciplined. But I think, you know, people don't want to miss opportunity, but everything's not opportunity. Sometimes it's just a distraction. That's where
another good D.
You know? It's a distraction. You know, it's like stay where you're at. That's been my claim to fame. My success is that disciplined focus, not jumping at everything or doing what other people are doing. It's like, hey, if it works for you, try it.
And, you know, I go as far as to say too often it's an indulgence. It gives you an excuse not to do the things that you really need to be doing.
Yeah, you're looking for stuff to distract you. Matter of fact, that's in the book, Indistractable, which is a very good book.
That is a very good book.
Yes, people are looking for ways all the time to distract themselves from doing what they're supposed to be doing when they're supposed to be doing it. Constantly looking for distractions.
Well, I am going to also create a list that I'm going to shoot over to you, Alonzo, of drive, how you cannot have drive. Be distracted. I got you a good drive, no driving list too, that I've created just from us talking here.
Cool. I like it. But what do you call a person that's an entrepreneur that doesn't have drive?
An employee.
Okay. Well, we are at the top of the hour, so there's just a couple of things. We are Matt wanted me to share. He's doing a workshop Thursday, and it's I just dropped the link in chat.
Matt is doing his thing. Big shout outs to Matt.
He's making an impact. He's making a difference, and he's helping us push the ball down the field in a lot of ways.
And people are loving these workshops that he's doing, Tom. I'm getting so much positive, chatter about these workshops. So
it's needed.
Yeah.
So it's this Thursday, 3:00 Eastern. I dropped the link. If you're looking for it, you can find it in the Made Central Facebook group. It's several places.
Alonzo, you use Made Central, yeah?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the user experience?
I will be there in full effect, live and in color.
Awesome. Yay. Exciting. I always look forward to seeing you, so I'm glad to see you in October.
So, we're going to have a good time.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to be doing some important work there, too. There's some pretty awesome stuff that we got queued up for that. It's going to be some.
Well, I don't want to lose focus. Everybody leave this call thinking about leadership, think about drive. So we're not pitching Made Central today. Catch you on Wednesday.
People is necessary, man. It's in your own home, your own house. Yeah. You know, that's huge right now. Leadership is needed big time. It's like a drought.
Absolutely.
We'll be back here Wednesday. You know who our guest is, Liz?
Sarah?
Sarah Thompson. And
Thompson? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
According to Facebook, still.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Facebook
Awesome.
because Facebook
Yay.
is the definitive.
That's right. That's how you know.
So
That's how you know.
Sarah is a very qualified leader within the residential cleaning industry and accomplishes some remarkable things in a relatively small market. If you know Sarah, you know what I'm talking about, and I know you're going to be here to want to hear her advice from a leadership perspective. And if you don't know Sarah, do yourself a favor. You'll walk away with a different perspective. She's doing stuff that if she wasn't doing it, you would say that it wasn't doable.
Yeah. And I will say that she does follow Alonzo's method of drive. We would definitely say, according to what Alonzo defines as drive, Sarah completely encompasses drive.
That's one of the cool things about what we're going to do. This month, you're going to see the common theme, and from one success story to another, there's going to be a common theme. So, Alonzo, as always, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for bringing it.
Thank you for having me. I always enjoyed being a part of this experience, and you guys are doing a great job of just educating the industry and just making it better.
Thanks, Alonzo. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back here at 5 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.